sailboat for herself.
Right.
Usually, so you'll hear a lot of pro sports teams will charter a plane. They won't take a commercial plane, so they'll rent a plane just for themselves.
Right, and that's rather unconventional.
Wow, that sounds like a real adventure. That sounds like a real adventure. Okay, let's move on to similar expressions here.
Just before we do, just to give one more example of conventional, you could apply this word to many different things, right? For example, if you think that your marriage is a normal marriage, nothing strange or different about it, then you can call it a conventional marriage. In Canada, my marriage would be conventional. I work, my wife works, we're still young, so we don't have any children. Young-ish. So we don't have any children yet. That's a conventional marriage for Canada. And for these days, I think it's becoming conventional for Korea as well. Now, you could also have an unconventional marriage. For example, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, right?
Mm-hmm.
They adopted children from a different country, and that's a kind of an unusual thing to do. So that would be an unconventional act or an unconventional marriage.
Unconventional family.
Yeah, right.
Okay, now let's move on to similar expressions. Number one, using the subway system is the typical way for people to get around. Usual way, the regular way, the most commonplace way.
You can use this negatively, can't we? This word.
Yeah, if you can say, everything you do is typical.
Yeah.
It means you're not very creative, you're not very unique, you just do things typically like just like anybody else. Very regular.
Yeah, you can see this in a drama. When a guy does something to make the girlfriend angry, she'll say, "Typical man."
Yeah.
You're just like every other guy. Says that it's unwise to be outside in a thunderstorm. Common wisdom refers to common knowledge, meaning everybody knows it.
Yes. If something is common, everyone knows it, right? And finally, number three here, bowing to. Very
the system, while the interest rates are so high that people very often end up debt-ridden for years.
But you can get
Even those who are lucky enough to land jobs have faced discrimination. Many corporations
cast the boardroom left intact.
That's right. Many of my friends are in financial difficulty and some have even talked of want to look good, but we fell from it. Many students are on leave because they can't afford the tuition. I'm very angry with the current administration.
But surely this is all part of democracy. They were voted in by the people.
Of course, but the way the authorities dealt with our protest wasn't very democratic. It was a non-violent protest, but many of the students were manhandled violently by police officers.
That's terrible. I hope things get better for you and your friends.
Thanks for showing interest in our cause, John.
Alright, so Yuri sounds like a very determined girl.
Yeah, and I gotta say, this is it's relevant to Korea, but also this is something that I've experienced in Canada as well.
Yeah, me too, in the UK.
New government came in now 2 years ago, but even before that, even the central left, liberal government had started to cut funding for tuition, and so tuition was going up, and then the new government came in, a conservative government, and deregulated a bunch of schools.
Right.
The University of Toronto.
Yeah.
And so the price skyrocketed because it used to be capped at about $12,000, and then they
I
raised it.
have to say, for domestic students, British students, overseas students, they have to pay hefty tuition.
Yes, and just international students purchased.
They're kind of treated like cash cows.
Completely, and there were protests when I was in school about that. There were domestic students helping out international students by protesting this outrageous. It was like 4 times or 3 times.
So should you take
I was walking around doing some sightseeing the other day, and I saw a group of students getting their heads shaved. It looked like some kind of ceremony. Do you know anything about it?
Right, and this is kind of what I felt when I first saw something like this happening. I didn't see it actually in real life, but I saw it on TV, and I thought, what are they doing? Because I guess back then I didn't really know enough about Korean culture.
Yeah, and in my experience living here for the past couple of years, I've seen different groups protesting, actors protesting some new proposed law and cutting themselves, on television, and students shaving their heads and things like that. So the form of protest in Korea is, I don't want to play it down by saying it's more dramatic. It is more dramatic. It's not a movie. It's real life, but it is more dramatic.
In this particular case, because a lot of girls, lots of female students were having their heads shaved, shows a sheer sense of determination in what they feel. Yeah. Yuri says, yes, they were a group of students staging a protest about the high tuition fees. I was actually one of the people involved. I can tell you all about it if you like.
Really? Nice. Definitely. There's a lot of determination in the different groups that have protested that I've seen in Korea. I was busy chasing girls and binge drinking.
Binge drinking. It's drinking, but drinking.
But a very common practice for students in all countries. The big parties and everyone drinks so much, it's just ridiculous.
You've done that. I've done that.
And it's so unhealthy.
It's really binge eating is really
So, I've now that I'm a little older,
the interest rates are